Safety and extreme fun have always been on the opposite sides. Well, up until now, because this jet ski, Stingray JST-30, managed to combine these two distant yet essential prerogatives at sea. How? We'll discover its safety in short, but now let's see if I have fun. This is the boat show. Its name is Stingray, like the animal, which is very hydrodynamic, thin and wide, and that makes it very stable at sea. At the same time, it's so elegant that it has inspired a true gem of the automotive, the legendary Chevrolet Corvette Stingray. It is from those futuristic and sporty lines that Federico Villa and Federico Gerna, with the technical collaboration of Dondi Ingegneria, started developing the idea of Manuel de Nuzio. That is, to create something that would solve the most common problems of jet skis: stability, versatility of use, and onboard comfort. What you might have already noticed is the keystone of the whole project: two tubulars that are completely surrounding the waterline. So what is it? Is it a jet ski or a rib? And, most importantly, how is it made? Let's clarify everything right away. The deck, as well as the keel, has been both developed in fiberglass and vinyl ester and polyester resin, and they've been coupled with a patented closing system which is completely watertight. The seating accommodates up to 3 passengers, and underneath it you can find the top of the gasoline tank. The height of the handlebars is adjustable, which, in addition to optimizing the steering setup, grants easier storage in the garage tender compartment. Forward, the wheelhouse, a more than 50-litre watertight locker with the smartphone charging station, but that can also become an icebox. The possibility of customization is endless, in terms both of aesthetic configuration and usage. In addition to choosing the paints and coating materials, together with the shipyard, there is the possibility of optimizing the jet ski according to the owner's needs. For example, adding a surfboard rack or some brackets for the scuba tank, the hook for towing the water toys, for the parasail, or whatever might come to your mind. On the transom, there is a stainless steel ladder to climb back up from the water. At the stern, the smooth lines of the deck allow for climbing on or getting off the jet ski, made easy by the stability granted by the tubulars. The tubulars are perfectly integrated to the structural geometry of the hull and the deck, and they've been developed with a minimal literage required to homologate this craft as a D-category boat. This completely revolutionises the possibilities of its usage. It can navigate up to 6 miles from the coast and doesn't have to stay within 1 mile as all the other jet skis. It has the authority to enter any port or marina without being subject to the limitations imposed on ordinary jet skis. Last, probably the most important aspect, thanks to its buoyancy reserve, it is really safe because it's very stable. At the end, the JST-30 by Stingray is not just a jet ski, it's a real sport tender. The helm station is well protected during navigation. The lateral passageways are totally shaded by the front shield. The tubulars and the total bow volume grant an optional buoyancy, also fully loaded. The chines on the hull deflect the water while underway. The main purpose of the new Stingray JST-30 is that of being used as a real tender of a medium to large size yacht that, for space issues, cannot have both a tender and a jet ski. fact, why choose when you can have both in one?
Today
in the sea of Sestri, Levante is quite choppy, but thanks to the little bait, I am able to try the hull against the waves on a flat sea, reach the maximum speed and see how it behaves on the rough sea. Here are my expectations. It has to be simple, easy to steer, but most importantly, it has to condone all kinds of mistakes. Compared to normal jet skis, the hull has a deep V and it has chines, helping her in the navigation stability and in the veer precision. Plus, they optimally deflect the bow wave on the hull, so theoretically I should only relatively get a little wet. Even though, with these waves, it's not going to be easy.
Il peso è di 240 kg secco.
The dry weight is 240 kilograms and there are 3 possible motorizations. Rotax reduced to 40 horsepower, normal Rotax of 90 horsepower or the Rotax powered to 115 horsepower. On board today we have the 90 horsepower motorization, but I'm sure I'm gonna have fun. Before starting, I want to tell you something very important. Today, for television reasons, I'm not wearing a life jacket. There is a whole troop following me and taking care of me and ensuring my safety. You, however, please, whenever you go to sea, be careful. Life jacket and kill cord always on. Let's go! Okay, let's start putting it under stress with the bow into the direction of the waves. The speed now is 25 knots. I'd say it's quite a comfortable navigation. And as you can see, other than some normal splashing, I'm not getting out wet. What do you say? Should we try to jump on the waves? We have exceeded 35 knots now. The hull is very smooth and it seems like the hull of an inflatable or a boat and not that of a jet ski. This makes navigation much more relaxing. It's very fun. We are flying, guys. I didn't expect it to happen on this kind of sea. Guys, I'm already at 45 knots on amazing waves jumping from one crest of the wave to the other. This is a hull masterpiece. Believe me when I say that, other than me, anyone could do this. Now, I want to try it with following sea. Having such a deep hull and such important volumes at the bow, I'm sure I won't be heeling with the bow. So I can leave the trim a little low. This is what I call navigating. Okay, now I'm in the Gulf of Sestri Levante. Here the water is very calm, so I can select the sport mode and really test this Stingray JST-30.
JST-30.
In your opinion, does the tubelet allow her to lean on one side and close a perfect veer? Let's try.
Proviamolo.
25 knots and veer on the port side.
Ragazzi.
Guys, it's veering on itself and take a look at the veering radius. The most amazing thing is that I can either steer unbalanced or conduct a bad steering that nothing happens. Take a look. My fear was that the tubular could bounce on the water, jolting me to the opposite side. But this does not happen. At most, as you've seen, the stern rises and loses traction. It is super safe.
posso anche fare testa coda.
I can also spin around. As I said, one of the prerogatives is allowing everyone to steer this boat, with the 40 horsepower engine, even those who do not have the boating license.
E adesso è arrivato il momento che...
And now, the part I prefer the most. The shipyard claims that with this type of motorisation, 90 horsepower, Rotax JST-30 by Stingray can reach and exceed 45 knots. So today, as always, I have two goals. Guess what? First one is to reach them, second to top them.
2, superarli! Woo!
43 knots. 45 knots.
E con 8000!
And with 8,400 RPM, I reached 47 knots.
In 47 nodi!
What an adrenaline rush! What a masterpiece! What a wonder!
Beh, insomma, che voi lo vogliate usare...
Well, whether you want to use it as a tender, a jet ski or a boat for any other activity, Stingray has really developed a masterpiece.
Capolavoro! Woo!